Hey, welcome to my mukbang story time, bitch. So, anyways, YouTube. Today we got some little seizures pizzas, some little seizures, crazy sauce, and they breadsticks, and some ginger ale, some Schweppes. Yo, I don't know if y'all ever had the grape ginger ale. But that shit is bomb. I really wanted pepperoni, but I wanted half pepperoni, half cheese, but they didn't have that option. So I went with cheese. What's going on, right? First and foremost, let's get this bath because I got cotton mouth right now. I was, hitting the devil's lettuce a little bit. So in the spirit of crazy sauce and crazy breadsticks and crazy ass Little Caesars pizza, we gonna talk about when my crazy ass got sent to the psych ward twice. Heard that right, bitch? Twice. I played too much. My makeup look cute. I was filming reels today. Cause, alright. I just be expressing my inner pain in my videos and stuff. By the way, my chair broke, so we're using this right now. Anyways, I love me some garlic bread. Yo, it was buttery as fuck. Hold on. I'm gonna use some napkins. Don't judge my chair. Don't judge my chair right now. My other chair broke. Look, I got the leg of the other chair right here. I'll whip your motherfucking ass if you make fun of my chair right now. Because it's not funny. But it is funny. It's hilarious. It's not even a chair. I can't even sit comfortably on it. Let me go with this system. It's a little, ladder. Usually I probably will edit this out. I might keep this. My fucking teddy bear came on. Hold on. Don't be. Whoever hating on my shit, go to hell. As long as I don't come off. Look a little crazy, but whatever. Back to the business. So I got sent to psych ward for the first time. It was in 2015. It was that summer. A week before my cousin's wedding. His wedding was lit, by the way. Anyway. So I was in a cult for 3 years, which I guess that will have to be another story time because that's a long ass story. Almost got held hostage and all that shit, bitch. Anyways, so I was in this cult, and that summer I had just lost my virginity to this guy I liked for a really long time, but he didn't know how much I liked him because you know how dating is. Like, you don't really want to reveal all your feelings. And I never really dated him, to be honest. I never even went on one single date with him. I just hung out with him like 3 times in his mom's house. Anyway, because that really hurt. Like, I never heard from him again. He started dubbing my shit. Anyway, that wasn't the reason I got sent. That was like a trigger, I guess. That was like the cherry on top of the whole Sunday. But I feel like childhood trauma and the cult, that was the main reason I got sent to psych ward. Because, alright, a week prior to me getting put away, I had a really bad meltdown. Like, I had became really cool with this girl, and she had started telling me, like, what border personality disorder was. And I was like, oh shit. And like, in a way, she like helped me realize I had issues. Although my diagnosis is not borderline. But she kind of like put me on like, you know, some mental health thing or whatever. And I had like a little bit of a problem back in them days. Like, all right, when I was in the cult, that's also when I started like doing other types of drugs and stuff. So I was in the cult. And we're supposed to be like this communist group. And like, we're supposed to be like super supportive of each other. And like all this fugazi stuff that, you know, when you join a cult, it make you feel so welcomed and so safe. Like, they target people who have like a lot of childhood trauma and like things like that. And like people who feel like they can't trust their family, and people who want to create some great difference, whether religious or political or whatever the fuck else. But this group was political and it was communist. And they made it seem like we were going to start this revolution, like down with the rich, you know, up with the working class. Anyway. So a week prior, I suggested that within our group, we start like a wellness circle, because a lot of people were complaining about having like mental health issues and like being really stressed and like going through it. So if we're supposed to be like so supportive of each other, then why not? Yo, they got so mad at me. They were like, that's liberal. Oh yeah, because like liberalism is like the worst thing ever to them. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. So whatever. I'm there. And I'm like, all right, so we kind of need like a wellness group, because like people in our org are low-key going through it. Like, you feel me? And they were like, we don't have the capacity for that. You know, we have a bigger fight to fight. And like, you know, that's liberal. That's only gonna hold the movement back or whatever, whatever. And it's like, how is that gonna hold anything back? Like, dude, people genuinely need help. You feel me? Like, people need help. And it's like, all these people, I feel like everyone, almost every last one of the members in our group had some sort of mental health thing that they were going through in that moment. So like, why not start a circle and maybe let's work on ourselves first before we try to save the world? You know? Like, common sense will tell you that. But they didn't see it that way. They saw it more like, oh, it's going to be liberal. It's going to hold back the movement. And I just got really mad. And I was like, why are y'all like that? Like, because that whole time I was there was like a lot of gaslighting. And I legit felt like I was really dumb. Like these people, they talked like about all this historical context. Like, they had it memorized. Like, it was really like neurotic almost. But I didn't have all that. But I know things, you know. I'm not like a dumbass. Anyway, I had that meltdown, and like a week later, I tried to unalive myself, and I did it by, all right, so around this time I was abusing, you know, that spray, that air in a can that they use to clean computers, amongst other substances, but that one was one of my favorites. I tried to use that to kill myself, because I've read online, if you do enough of it, it will kill you, right? I passed out like 3 or 4 times. Nobody was home, so it was okay. I ended up getting up. So I passed out like 3 or 4 times. Then I threw up. I couldn't do it anymore, so whatever. I didn't sleep at all. I was having like, this had to have been like one of the worst manic episodes of my life. So eventually I get up and well, anyways, and eventually I get up, I never slept. So I get ready, and I go to the doctor. Cause I was like, at that point I didn't know what to do. Like, it wasn't my first unaliving attempt. And I was just like, I felt like a failure. Like, at everything. I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm like, isn't this like in movies, like the turning point in somebody's life? I mean, I know life is not a movie, but hey, I like to romanticize my life. That's how I survive it. So I imagine it like a movie. So I feel like, you know, isn't this like the turning point in somebody's fucking life? Isn't this like the plot twist? So anyways, I go to the doctor and I'm like losing it at this point. I'm laughing and crying. Like, I'm like the Joker. I'm like I'm legit. Like, I think this hair is perfect for the story. I'm legit laughing and crying. Like, I'm not laughing because shit is funny. I'm laughing because my mind can't regulate any more emotions at this point. So, the doctor's like, how can I help you, you know? I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore, man. Like, I kind of want to end it all. And he's like, do you have a plan? I'm like, yeah, I executed it yesterday and it failed. And he's like, well, you know, he was like, well, you know that, like, I'm gonna have to call the ambulance. Like, I can't let you leave the clinic like that. And I was like, hey, man, ball is in your court. I legit said that. And if you remember me and you were my doctor that day, vouch for me, motherfucker, because nobody else was in that room. But anyways, I was like, the ball is in your court, man. He was like, all right. Goes my mom. I don't remember how they got around to calling my mom, because I was already grown. I was already 21 at this point. But it was just like so much shit that I hadn't taken care of from even like my youth that had marinated for so long that at this point, this is like my breaking point. Or one of many. One of a few. Darling. I'm having like a meltdown every other day. So then my mom comes and she's like, what's going on with you? Like, my mom kind of like knew already because she didn't want me to be a part of this group anymore. But I'm like, Mom, the revolution, you know, it's like so fucking necessary. We need to fight this fight. You know what I mean? Like, the world needs communism. Like, I was such a like communist. I was a Maoist Leninist. What was it? Maoist Leninist, Marxist. Yeah, those were our daddies. Anyway, I'm at the doctor. Oh, by the way, this is gonna be relevant. I still kind of like dislike cops, but it's not as bad as it was back then. Like, I hated cops. Like, now I'm like, I don't agree with the way the justice system is set up, and I kind of understand why it's like that. But back then it was like such almost like black and white thinking, like good and bad, you know, communists and not communists, like, and everything had to be a certain type of way. Like, okay, baby, for that. I don't know. They cut the pizza weird. I don't want to eat this little piece. So then, the doctor calls the ambulance. We're there. We're waiting like, I don't know how long at this point, because I don't have a concept of time because I lost my mind that day. But we were waiting a while. Like, a while. Eventually, these two cops come. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I thought it was the ambulance. I hate cops. Like, I legit, like, said that. Like, I was so pissed that they fucking brought cops. But the doctor was like, no, it's just, like, sometimes if there's no ambulances, they'll send cops because you don't really have, like, a physical issue. And I was like, really? So, anyways, I left with the cops. Excuse me. And then we go to the hospital. We're in the ER. It's taking forever to get put in a little back room. But eventually we get put in. All right. So while we're in the ER, I meet this girl. She's Latina. She don't speak no English. Nothing, not a lick of English. She only speaks Spanish. But she was mad cool. Like, dead ass, that became like my best friend in that situation. She had like a trans mom. Like, it was mad interesting. Like, her mom was sweet. She was a sweet lady to me. I think it was my first time meeting like trans person of that age and seeing it play out in a family. So I was intrigued. But anyway, this girl, she's really going through, like, she got a few kids, abusive situation, like, mash. Like, this girl, I felt bad. Like, she had real life shit going on. Like, I'm in a cult. This girl's like she just went through like all types of life battles. Like, she was young with a few kids. Like, I don't want to say the amount. I don't want to put nobody's business too much out there. But she had more than 3. She had a lot of fucking kids. Well, has, because none of them are dead. So we're in the hospital. We're waiting to get put in the tank. She started bothering the security guard. He was type cute, I'm not gonna lie. She was like bothering him and shit. Because we weren't really supposed to have our phones or something like that. But we still had it somehow, like, because we still hadn't gotten put in. So we there. Then we got put in. There was this one guy. He was tweaking the fuck out. I was like, what's wrong with him? Like, oh, why would we get put in? I meet this lady. I don't know. I have my belief system and I get it. But she should have never went to the hospital with this problem. Yo, she go and tell me. She looked normal. She was kind of like a decent looking lady. Like, she was an older lady. She come up to me. She's like, yo, I went to a brujo and they've been doing brujeria on me and all this other stuff. And she's like, you see my ear? My ear's been twitching ever since, and I see it and it's twitching. And nobody believes me. Like, I've been to the doctor, I've been to everybody, and I feel like it's the brujo, like he did something to me. And I was like, girl, you told these people that? She was like, yeah, because I didn't know what to do. Like, my ear bothers me, like, legit. And I was like, oh. I'm like, girl, they're going to keep you. I'm like, because they're not going to, they don't see that. Like, you know, they're looking at you like you crazy. That shit was mad funny. She that ass was like, "Do you see my ear twitching, girl? I didn't see nothing. Her ear was like how mine is. It was just regular. It was a regular fucking ear." She's like, "My ear's twitching." I'm like, "Your ear's twitching, okay." So then, eventually, it's time for bed. Because, you know, they had us chilling there. Like, they had crayons and they had the news. Of all things, they had the news. And I remember I got tight. I was like, wow, they playing the news all day. Like, this makes me want to kill myself more. Like, they put in this depressing shit. So then, nighttime comes. It's time for us to go to bed. Bro, there's this one guy there, and he, like I told y'all before, he was really bugging the fuck out. He wanted to call some girl there. Oh, I think he was calling her because we had like phones. Did we have phones? There's a lot I don't remember. This was a lot of years ago. Bear with me. And it was a tough time, so I bury it real deep. Point case is, I think he was calling the nurse or somebody. And wilding, like, I didn't understand what his problem was. Eventually, they took him up out of there. They had to, like, pretty sure they went, you know, some little booty juice. I hope he okay now. So then, the next day, they're like, all right, they tell me and my homegirl, like, you guys are gonna get transferred. Y'all going to this other facility. It's a little more, it's outside of the city. I'm like, all right. I mean, at this point, I pretty much signed off my rights to you guys, so I have no choice but to go wherever you guys send me to go. And so you guys say I'm good enough to go home. So they sent me and homegirl to the other facility. When we get to the facility, it's like a campus. It's beautiful. When we get there, we in the admin room. Yo, this was like jail, bro. I remember this part. And I wanted that picture so bad. For a day like today, I would have fucking put it in this picture. Anyway, so we get to the admissions office. And they like make you go through the process. Like, I think the first thing is they made me sit down with some lady, and she kind of was asking me why I was there, what I was feeling, blah, blah, blah. And then she took a picture of me, and I was like, I had the gown from the hospital. I had a black shirt that said Rockaware in rhinestones. And like, I don't remember what pants I had on. I think I had like some black and white pants on. I looked a mess. My hair was crazy. No makeup. Like, no care routine I had at all that time. So like, horrible. Like, this is not cute at all, but it was like such a like downfall moment. It was like iconic. Like, I need that picture. Anyway, so after that, they make you go through like security. So I had a beef patty, and they deadass made me eat it there. And I wasn't even hungry, but I didn't want to throw it away either. But I still ended up throwing away like half of it. Because you can't bring in like food that's like that. Like, you have to bring food that's like sealed. Like, I could have brought in like a bag of potato chips or something, but I can't bring like, because they scare like I'm gonna bring contraband or whatever. Like, this shit is like jail. So then they go through like my bags. That's the first step. Then they make me go into a room, and they make me wear like this paper gown, and it was like take everything off. Everything. Like my shoes, underwear, if I had any jewelry on, which I didn't. Anything and everything I had on, I had to take it off. Underwear, all that. So I take it all off and I put on the little gown. The lady tells me to squat and cough. Bitch, tell me that's not some Rikers Island shit. She told me to squat and cough. I was like, excuse me? I'm like, what do you think I got in here? She was like, it's just protocol. We gotta make sure none of y'all is bringing contraband. And I know her head, she's like, it's a fucking psych ward, bitch, and there's a lot of crazy shit. And people try to get in through them doors. And I don't need you trying it. But whatever. Like, in my little crazy innocent head, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't got no contraband. Like, I went to the ER with my mother. What am I gonna bring? So whatever. They made me squat and cough. But one thing I remember, so then after that, it was my homegirl that went after me or went before. I think she went after me. And I remember in the admissions office, it's going to be relevant to a story I'm about to tell. In the wall, it said, because it's a private facility, it says, every patient here that don't speak English and speak Spanish has a right to a Spanish translator. And it was so precise about that, a Spanish translator, not a Bengali, not French, not any other language, a Spanish translator. My homegirl, she only talks Spanish. So after the first like 3 days, I'm translating for her because I understand. Lies. It must have been longer than 2-3 days. It might have been like 4 or 5 days already into this. That I'm like 4 days. Like 4 days into this. I'm like, bro, I've been telling the people already for the longest, like, yo, I know I'm helping out with her, but she needs a translator. It's her right. It says that in the admissions office. Mind you, I'm little communist me at this time. So hell yeah, I'm gonna fight for her rights. I'm a violate, like, because I'm always looking for a reason to violate. That was what I was going through at that time period. Like, give me a reason and I'm gonna bug out. So the lady's like, it's like all right, so now it's finally the 4th day of me telling them calmly and nicely, like, hey, she needs a translator. And now it's like finally the breaking point. So I tell them she needs a Spanish translator. I tell them again. And I tell them again. And the lady was like, so why don't you just stop helping her? Excuse the fuck out of me, bitch. So you gonna tell me in this whole campus of multiple buildings, there's not a single person here that could come and translate for this girl that is telling me that she needs help beyond what I can provide because she really feels like she's losing it because she cannot communicate with anyone except for me. So I'm like, I'm blacking out to the people in the counter. I'm not fucking with another patient because really they don't got nothing to do with it. So this one girl that she was there because she was feeling homicidal, like, fuck out of here, bitch. She was like, well, isn't it like a private facility? She should go to like a public facility. I was like, no, because in the admissions building, there is a sign up that says, if you need a Spanish translator, specifically Spanish translator, then you have a right to one. So mind your fucking business. So she's still quiet. Cool, whatever, didn't care. So one thing, like, around that period of my life, especially in that moment, in that environment I was in that mental state I was in, there's 2 words you should never tell me when I'm pissed. And I know I'm right for being pissed off. Yes, I looked at myself to make sure that I was right, because I was right for being pissed off that day. This motherfucking grandma, motherfucking lady, fucking grandmama in the motherfucking face as a bitch, go and tell me you need to calm down. I was like, you need to mind your motherfucking business, bitch. And I'm like, I'm ready to go at it with this lady. So when everybody comes, especially, like, I made mad friends. Like, I was popping in that psych ward. Like, shout out to y'all. Y'all made it an experience. Yo, from, like, the minute I was in admissions, I'm just mad friendly. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I played too much. But I became cool with other people. So my homegirl, at one point, she pushes me to the couch. She's like, yo, bro, you need to chill. They're gonna give you the booty juice. Okay. So eventually I calmed down. But I was seeing red. Like, I really wanted to break this old ass lady's face. So I'm just having out a meltdown. Yeah, I started having a real bad meltdown that day. And they put me in another room because they had moved me to another house. But then, like, that house was like for the good girls, and I was being bad. I didn't want to take my medicine. Like, I was wilding. Like, I was like, any reason to like bug out, I was gonna do it. So, yeah. So then they eventually put me in this room, and I'm just crying and screaming and like doing my show. And this one staff bitch comes in and she's looking at me laughing. I fucking funny, bitch. I threw a basket at him. One of them laundry baskets, but I didn't hit her or nothing. I feel like she was trying to set me up, but it didn't work. So then the next day comes, and because I was refusing to take my medication, they put me on lockdown, like a fake lockdown. It wasn't even a real lockdown. I couldn't leave the little house we was in, the little bunkie. I was tight though because I couldn't go to the cafeteria and get my own food. I had to eat whatever they brought me. Mind you, the food there was pretty like, it was like good but then bad. Like, they had like good snacks and breakfast. Love their breakfast. I didn't have a single day where I didn't like their breakfast because I love American breakfast. But American food, like what white mamas be cooking, So then, I remember one of the days, they brought me a sandwich. It was disgusting. Like, who wouldn't lose their mind? Like, they brought me a chicken salad sandwich. I never had a chicken salad sandwich before. I didn't even, that was some shit I would see in movies. Like, oh, honey, I packed you the chicken salad. The shit had raisins in it and all types of weird shit and apples. I was like, ¿qué coñazo esto? I was like hungry most of the time I was there. This is another thing. They put me on Seroquel to calm my anxiety. That shit gave me more anxiety. I think the shit was called Paracetin. And it's supposed to help with the PTSD nightmares. All it did was raise my heart rate, like ridiculous. And it was acting like it's normal, like, oh, this medicine does that because it was originally intended for the heart. So then leave it for what it was fucking intended for, bitch, because it's not taking away my nightmares. As a matter of fact, I had the weirdest dreams of my life in that place, which I could barely remember. Like, all I could remember from one of the dreams is that I had a dream that I was there and I was looking out the window, and I could just only remember that one part, but I know there was more to it. Anyway, grandmama got me on lockdown. And eventually it's like getting closer and closer to my cousin's wedding day, and I'm like, I don't want to be here no more. And I don't really feel suicidal anymore. So I go and tell them, like, it was like day, I want to say like five or six, on like day 5 or 6, because it was already after they said, oh, so after that whole, I forgot to tell y'all. So after the whole episode where I was about to fight grandmama and all that shit went down, they found a translator. They found a translator for my homegirl. You know what they did? They had this highly suicidal girl sign herself out of the hospital. Thank God she didn't do anything. But that was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen done in a mental health facility. Not like I've been to many and seen a lot, but that was real fucked up. Because they should have let her stay and found her a fucking translator. Anyway. So, she went home that day, and I stood there, and I was really upset that she went home. I was very, very, very upset that she went home, because I knew that she really needed mental health more than a lot of the people there. Because It was like an expensive facility, and like there's a lot of like wealthy Long Island kids that was there. Like they was mad cool though, don't get me wrong. They're a little cracked out though. Like I met some girl there that she told me straight up, like, I've injected crack. I'm from the hood. There's a lot of crackheads, but I never heard of no shit like that, and I don't really mingle with the crackheads, so I don't know how they ingest it. But from what I've heard is that they smoke it. Anyway, sis. So yeah, they had her leave, and I was still pissed. That pissed me off more, that they had her leave like that. And I was like, damn, my homegirl left. So whatever, I'm there. It's like day 5 or 6. And I start telling them, like, I'm not really suicidal no more. Like, when am I going to go home? They talking about 2 more weeks. I was like, no, I'm not staying 2 more weeks here. Like, and as you can see, when I say something, I mean that. So I was like, y'all already have a plan for me when I get out. Because they was already talking to me about where I was going to go get therapy and where I was going to go get outside help. I'm skipping over a whole other part. Why would I get there? I see this guy that I was cool with. We went to the same high school, different years, but we still managed to know each other through programs that we did together. Like, we both liked poetry. Anyway, this motherfucker was there. The reason he was there was mad fucking funny. He stole a cop car or some shit. He stole the car. He drove to like the border of Canada. This motherfucker really went on an adventure. And then he was like fake stalking me in the facility and like doing weird shit that started giving me anxiety, and like had to cut him off after that. I hope he's okay. I hope you're doing well if you're out there, buddy. But anyway. Yo, that was a funny one. Like, oh my god, this nigga was crazy. Yo. So anyway, I'm trying to get out. I'm like figuring out my escape plan. So I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not really feeling that crazy. What's the exit plan? Where I gotta go after this? So they give me all of that. They give me my paperwork and everything. But they was trying to give me a hard time. It was like, you gotta stay here 2 more weeks. Which probably I needed it, because I was really tweaking. But I really wanted to go to my cousin's wedding. I was not missing my cousin's wedding at all for nobody. Like, fuck that. So I was like, what's up? I'm not suicidal no more. I don't have no suicide plan. That's why I was here. I'm a much more stabilized. Like, get me out of here. So the therapist lady was like, okay, we'll get that sorted out for you. And I was like, and I want my medical paperwork because I want my picture. They never gave me that. And that's my right. Like, that place really be violating rights. Like, that's my right to have those papers. And they probably done shredded it because it's been like how many years now. But it's like, wow, I really would like my paperwork for when I was there. So yeah, they get my paperwork situated, whatever. They're like, all right, you're leaving this day. And I'm like, yay! So I leave. My family comes and gets me. And like the next day, we're gonna head out to my cousin's wedding. So I had some money, because I was already working at this time. So I told my brother to get us some bud to go to this wedding or whatever. Yo, why? My stupid ass. So whatever. We go. It's my mom, my dad, me, my brother. Because it's my cousin's wedding from... Anyway. So we go. It's all the way in Jersey. We get there. My cousin, yo, he got a whole ass hotel for everybody in our family. My whole crazy ass family is running this hotel right now. Shit is lit. Motherfucker had a school bus. This motherfucker got a school bus to drive us to and from the wedding. No drinking and driving was necessary because we was all lit on that bus. It was so fun. Yo. Anyways, so we get there, right? To Jersey. Why my dumbass decides to smoke this little clip I had inside of the hotel. that I'm staying with my mom and my dad. And I think my brother was staying in there too. Why I went and did that? Why I went and did that? This hotel done charged my dad a $250 fee. All because I wanted to be a crackhead. And it's crazy because they told me when I left the clinic, like the medications I was taking, I shouldn't be smoking weed. That's the first thing I did when I got out that bitch. Let's smoke. I'm not saying I make the wisest choices, but I just make them. So, yeah, so I'm like, nah, I didn't smoke in there. There has to be another room, whatever. Because I wasn't going to blame my brother either. Like, he was dead ass not even in the room. And, like, regardless, like, that would have been OD foul. Like, I knew I did that. So, I remember that day my mom walks into the room. She's like, ¿Tú estabas fumando? And I was like, yo, ¿cómo va a ser? Nunca. But it was. It was me. So then my mom and my dad, we all downstairs fighting the people in the reception. Like, no, nobody was smoking in the room. They didn't believe that shit. They still charged my dad. Which one day I'll pay him back. I owe my dad a lot of shit. Yo, so then that happened. The next day is the wedding. That had to be the most lit wedding I ever been to in my life. My sister's wedding was lit, but this wedding was more lit. Like, he just, like, him and his wife formulated this so intricately so it could be 100% lit. Down from the hotel to, like, you know, the actual wedding. You know, that shit is always boring. Like, yeah, I get it, you love each other. But the party, that motherfucking party, everything was lit about it. The food was good, the drinks was good. Everything was hitting, bitch. And it was cool because, like, this side of the family, I never get to interact with them like that. So it was just cool to, like, have such a bonding experience with them. And, like, it was just dope, like, to really get to know this side of my family. So we at the reception, we turning up, we dancing, we drinking. It's lit food everywhere, desserts, all that. But yeah, it's time to go back to the hotel room. We all get on the school bus. Everybody's drunk on the school bus. It is so funny, like, cause like my cousin, he actually went to one of them white colleges, and like he lived like in the suburbs of Jersey and stuff. So he had those kinds of friends. I felt like I was in American Pie, yo. Like, that shit was lit. Like, motherfuckers was twisted. So then we get back to the hotel. Everybody like changes up. We put on like our casual clothes, and then we go to this bar. It's like walking distance from the hotel. We taking shots, lit, laughing, good time. But yeah, that was the psychward story of the first time. I had to include the wedding because the wedding was like, that was my escape. Like, yeah, I needed to know why I went so hard against my mental health for this wedding, because it was fucking worth it. Like, you shitting me? A school bus? I think that was my favorite. The motherfucking school. Shout out to you, cousin Alex. Getting that fucking school bus. And I love your Christmas cards. He never fails to send them. I don't even know the new kids. I think I met one of his kids. Anyway, so the second time I got in a psych ward, this is going to be a shorter story, but very dramatic. So one day I was in therapy. You know how they say, be careful what you tell your therapist? Okay, I had a moment. So I was able to tell my therapist anything because I know how to manipulate any situation. Like, if I'm feeling suicidal, I know how to tell you the right things so you don't send me to the psych ward. Because feeling suicidal and actually being suicidal is two different things. It doesn't mean you're always going to do it. And it's like, sometimes I will feel suicidal, but it doesn't mean I was going to do it. I think I even showed this lady that I was cutting myself at a point, and she still didn't send me to the psych ward because I'm just a fucking manipulator. I need a therapist that can see through my bullshit. Anyway, so one day I was just having like a day. I don't know what was going on that week, but I was fucking miserable. And I was just telling her, and I was just being so pessimistic and dark. And I was just like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm really over it. And then I just went quiet. Totally quiet. I was just sitting there like, she's like, Sam, you gotta tell me something, because if not, then you know what's gonna happen. And I'm like, I'm still quiet. I'm not hearing nothing. Like, I'm hearing it, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie like, oh, I blacked out and I don't remember nothing. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it. I'm just, like, my brain is no longer, like, registering this shit no more. So then I'm like, so she brings in this other lady. And this lady, I don't know, she got on my nerves. I'm sorry, Miss Lady. This wasn't your fault. It's a lot of trauma. She's like, she got this little voice. And I just don't like her voice. I don't even know what she said. And I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, I'm going to kill you. And the lady ran up out of it. She really ran up out of there. Eventually, they call the cops on me while I'm having this whole episode. I'm breaking shit. I'm throwing shit at people. I'm throwing furniture. Like, I was just losing. I lost control. I lost all of it. Like, I was no longer myself. What can I say? Or maybe I was myself. Who fucking knows? Because who knows, right? So, yeah. So I tell this lady I'm going to kill her. They call the cops on me. Cops come. Oh, this other lady came to the door and she was dead ass laughing at me. So I threw a table at her, but she was like, you know, so the table didn't hit her. I wish it did, because her stupid ass deserves to get hit by a little table, like one of them little nightstands. I threw that shit at that bitch. Like, I was like, what's funny, bitch? And I threw the shit at her. So anyway, cops come in, and I'm like, I look at my therapist. I felt betrayed. I was like, bitch, my kryptonite, the one fucking thing you know I hate. Like, bring the EMC. Why you fucking brought the cops up into this shit, bitch? So I'm trying to run through the cops. Mind you, we in a little tiny office. There isn't much running you could really do when there's two big ass cops in front of you. I'm not that big either. So I try to run through them. These motherfuckers tackle me into the chair. They done twisted my arm up. I turned around. I kicked them. They fucking turned my ass around again. Put me in handcuffs. Now I'm just cursing them out. I'm wilding. So my therapist was like, is there anybody we could call right now for you? Like, that could come and, like, help you out? I was like, call my cousin Sunshine. Shout out to Sunshine, though, bro. You've been there. We've been there for each other through a lot. So anyway, my cousin come. She's like, bitch, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like, I'm still like losing it. So she comes. I leave the place like, I'm looking mad, you boo. Like, bro, I swear I must have been possessed or something. Because I don't think I haven't had an episode like that since. It was so bad. So I just walked out of there like, you know, I'm handcuffed. I got these two cops. I'm looking like fucking Harley Quinn at this point. They put me in the ambulance. I'm cursing the police officer out. I'm just cursing him out. I'm like, how you a Hispanic police officer? You fucking bende patria. Like, I'm coming at him all types of way. My cousin is sitting there laughing because she's tired of my crazy shit. Like, my family, we got a dark sense of humor. So even if we're going through the worst of times, like, we're gonna fucking laugh. So whatever, we get to the hospital. So then there's this lady there, and she's dead ass trying to hook me up with her son. Bro, I can't make this shit up. She's there wilding for her whatever fucking mental health crisis she's having. My cousin is the GOAT for this one too. So we get there, I'm hungry. My cousin's like, yo, you hungry? What you want to eat? I was like, yo, I want some tacos, but please, with everything, and I need guac and chips on the side. That's how I eat my tacos. And she was like, I got you, bro. Don't worry, you having a hard time. So she brings me my tacos. I'm there eating the shit. And I'm like chilling with my cousin, and then it's time for her to go. And this lady, yo, she's all in my face. She's like, oh, because my son, I can't stand his girl, and you pretty. Like, I feel like you can make his girl mad. And I'm entertaining the shit because What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell this crazy ass bitch no? In my head, I'm like, if you crazy, I don't even want to know what your son is like. And then you one of the mothers that just want to support your son. Like, what if he's an asshole? Anyway. Then they gave me a Benadryl, sent me to sleep, and that shit didn't put me to sleep, so I'm just laying there. The next day I went home though, because it wasn't even that deep. I just had a day. And those are my psych ward stories. Thank you, YouTube, for watching me eat and tell you stories and shit like that. Yo, I need to stop cursing so much. What you gonna do? Wash my mouth out with soap? I'll fight all you bitches.